This is News 8 Now, This Morning.
The benefits that they will receive and the opportunities they will have will hopefully be lifelong, whether it be academically, athletically, both, fine arts, anything like that. So yeah, there's just going to be so many positives that come out of the referendum projects, and it'll take a while to get completed, but you know, 'cause we're going in different phases, but it'll be well worth the wait.
Currently, we're planning for a temporary bypass so that people will still be able to get through. That could be determined by the DOT if that happens or not.
We bring all our retention resources, so anybody that's going to help a student, whether they need, help with food support, or they food insecure, or they need somebody's help from the city or the county, all those resources are here.
Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye opener. I'm Lou Estrard.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is September 6, 2023. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Halfway through the week.
Sure are.
Halfway through a short week for us because we had Monday off.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and and at least today we finally are going to be cooler.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy to report that here.
You know what? We're getting some good news. Short week, cooler weather.
Exactly.
Weekends around the corner.
Already.
Already.
So
the thing is, for me personally, I feel like when I have a day off in the week, that week just ends up feeling longer.
Yeah, it kind of does.
It does.
Yeah.
You don't really reap the benefits.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess if you're only working maybe 3 days of the week.
Maybe,
yes,
probably.
Yeah, it does still feel like a regular week, even if it's just a day. But let's talk about what we have going on right now. It's a little bit humid again for some parts of the area. Maybe not as humid as what we had yesterday, but our dew point readings are into the mid to upper 60s. So when you factor in that, along with our current temperatures, it does make it feel like it's a bit humid out there in some spots. Check out La Crosse at 67 degrees of a dew point reading there, but the actual air temperature in La Crosse is at 73. So looking at a bit of a humid condition to start here for some of us. Now, skies are also going to turn cloudy as we head throughout the day. There is a slight chance of a shower or two, especially this afternoon, with highs into the upper 60s to low 70s, along with that northerly northwest wind breeze at around 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day behind that cold front that moved through last night. Dog walking forecast for today, starting off partly cloudy, turning cloudy this afternoon with some scattered showers possible here for the evening walking conditions. And in the meantime, your allergy report shows us that the ragweed and mold continue to remain high. Same again for tomorrow. And you can expect those high ragweed symptom index for another 10 days or so. A check on your schoolcast, plus your weather forecast is coming up in a few minutes. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. An Iowa man is under arrest accused of downloading child pornography in Buffalo County. 23-year-old Caleb Krzyzistan faces 4 felony counts of possession of child pornography. The Buffalo County Sheriff's Office says they issued an arrest warrant for him after getting a tip he was downloading child pornography at his parents' house late last year. Each felony count carries a maximum of 25 years in state prison and or a fine of $100,000. Police have found a cause for an incident that closed Chaseburg's post office on Saturday. A 67-year-old male suffered a major medical event while driving on State Highway 162. That's according to Vernon County Sheriff Roy Torgerson. The man's car went straight off a 90-degree curve and hit the front of the post office. Despite life-saving attempts, the man was pronounced dead at the scene. Community members boarded up the front of the post office for safety reasons. A town of Berry Bridge over Rustlin Coulee Creek on County Road M was built in 1952, and it's set to be redone in 2025. The La Crosse County Highway Department hosted a public involvement meeting to discuss improvements on that bridge. Currently, the bridge deck and approaches are deteriorating. It's also narrower than current structural standards call for. The construction to replace the bridge will last between 3 to 4 months. La Crosse's highway commissioner says the department is hoping to have something other than a detour in place when construction starts.
Currently, we're planning for a temporary bypass so that people will still be able to get through. That could be determined by the DOT if that happens or not, though.
Langberg says that the DOT might not approve the bypass because it's close to both a cemetery and a farmstead. If it's not approved, they will have to come up with a detour. About a dozen people were at tonight's meeting. All of them were in favor of the bypass as it was planned. A spot on the La Crosse County Board has opened up. Grant Matthew has decided to resign as District 5 Supervisor. He has represented the district covering the UWL campus since 2020. Matthew graduated from UWL in the spring and is pursuing a master's degree. The county board is now taking applicants to fill the vacancy. Applicants have to be at least 18 and currently live or plan to live in the 5th district. Letters of interest are due by 4:30 September 15th. We'll have more information on the application process on our website and app. After 60 years, Brockwood High School is finally getting a track. The new track is part of an education and athletics referendum that passed this April for the Norwalk, Ontario Wilton School District. The $29.4 million referendum will update school facilities and build a new track and football field. Yesterday, the school held a groundbreaking ceremony to celebrate the new facilities. The district superintendent says that all the referendum projects will provide many benefits to present and future students.
The benefits that they will receive and the opportunities they will have will hopefully be lifelong, whether it be academically, athletically, both, fine arts, anything like that. So yeah, there's just going to be so many positives that come out of the referendum projects, and it'll take a while to get completed, but because we're going in different phases, but it'll be well worth the wait.
Other projects at the school include adding a new vocational tech classroom and upgrading the science classrooms. All projects should be completed by fall of 2025. The Assistant Fire Chief of Onalaska is stepping down. Les Noren has served in the Onalaska Fire Department since 2021. He is now the new fire chief at the City of West Bend Fire District. It's a suburban community north of Milwaukee. This comes as Onalaska recently announced Pete Fleddy would succeed Troy Goody as Onalaska's new fire chief. Single-day passes are now on sale for the Sandbar Storytelling Festival. The festival takes place at St. Mary's University and the Minnesota Marine Art Museum in Winona. This 3-day event is family-friendly and features storytellers like Bill Lepp and Kevin Kling. The festival begins the evening of October 12 and ends on the 14th. Single-day passes for Friday are $50. Saturday passes cost $75. You can also buy a 2-day pass for $100. For more information about the Sandbar Storytelling Festival, visit their website. We'll post a link on our website, news8000.com. Western Technical College hosted a resource block party for its students. It's a way for students who are new to the school or area to learn what programs the school and community offer. Normally, the block party is held outside, but due to the heat, it was moved into the Lunda Center. In addition to the resource fair, there's also free food and haircuts. The president of Western Technical says that the block party has something for everyone.
We bring all our retention resources, so anybody that's going to help a student, whether they need help with food support, or they food insecure, or they need somebody's help from the city or the county, all those resources are here, so a student on day one knows how the college is going to support them and how the community is.
There were 50 organizations at the block party. Some of the booths that were in attendance were the Student Health Center, the Y, and Habitat for Humanity. Winona Area Public Schools start back up today, and the district's leadership will have an injection of local pride. Brad Brzezinski is the new superintendent, a man who's worn plenty of hats there before: student, teacher, principal, even athletic director. But after stints in Oregon and St. Charles, Minnesota, he's back home. He told the district he wants to improve the culture and ties to the community. 66% of voters rejected a facilities referendum in the spring, and Brzezinski says the district can learn to build community relationships that might change those no's to yeses on future ballots. Brzezinski's predecessor told the La Crosse Tribune she hopes the district continues to focus on equity and inclusion. Well, still ahead on your morning news, a government watchdog is expecting the federal government's budget deficit to double. We'll take a look at what's causing the expected increase and how it could affect you. And community colleges nationwide are having trouble keeping their enrollment numbers up. We'll take a look at what some colleges are doing to help bring in new students. That and more is coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Today is National Read a Book Day. Every September 6th, Americans are invited to dive into the pages of their favorite book or to pick up something new. Studies over the decades have shown the reading can have plenty of mental health benefits, including boosting your memory and concentration. Those who wish to participate in the celebration of National Book Day are encouraged to use the hashtag #ReadABookDay on social media. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Well, our dew point readings are into the 60s with our air temperatures not too far from that, into the upper 60s to low 70s this morning. So therefore, it's a bit humid here as you step on outside of the door this morning. 6-hour loop showing that we did have abundant clouds here move through across the area overnight. A little bit of a couple of light showers there in some spots, but other than that, mainly dry for the most part. Looking at temperatures today, highs picking up into the low to mid 70s, so much cooler behind that cold front that moved through last night. 74 today in both Unalaska and La Crosse. Meanwhile, in Viroqua, you're looking at highs around 70. Stoddard looking at a high of 72. And as we head into Arcadia, we're looking at highs around 73. Sparta's at 72 today. Osseo at 71. Same for Melrose and Blair and Whitehall as well. Upper 60s to low 70s for the Chippewa Valley. Eau Claire, your high temperature today will be 71 degrees. Your bus stop forecast for us: off to school, 71, partly cloudy skies. We are going to be looking at increasing clouds, though, with a slight chance of a shower or two. Heading back home today as well, with temperatures at around 70 degrees. I'll have a check on that full weather forecast again coming up in a few minutes.
In your consumer news this morning, a government watchdog is expecting the federal government's budget deficit to double to $2 trillion for the 2023 fiscal year. The increase is believed to come from a drop in tax revenue, increases in mandatory Social Security, Medicare, and interest payments. The increasing deficit may also make further funding discussions more complicated before the start of the upcoming fiscal year on October 1st. Congress will then have until the end of the month to pass either a short deal or a spending package to keep the federal government operating and avoid a possible shutdown. Goldman Sachs say they are more optimistic that the U.S. will avoid a recession over the next 12 months. In their new soft landing summer report, the odds of a recession are currently at 15%. The new percentage is similar to the historical average for any specific year. The new report proposes that wages will increase faster than prices, and they will also overcome the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes. Airline fares may soon come in for a landing from their current high prices. End of summer discount fares are starting to make a comeback after being taken down a few years ago. According to an analysis from the travel app Hopper, the lowest fares are expected to drop 9% more than they did last year. Ticket prices for both September and October are currently 29% cheaper than the average prices during peak domestic summer travel. Schools are welcoming students back to class, including community colleges. Over the past decade, two-year colleges have seen steep declines in enrollment. CBS's Danya Bacchus takes a look at why and what's being done about it.
Alex Esparza believes community college will lead him to a successful career.
I took a look into what they had, and they had a business program, and I was like, business is what I want to do.
But fewer young people are choosing the same path. Since 2013, two-year colleges have seen a 36% drop in students. Schools were hit especially hard during the pandemic.
We lost about 350,000 students across California community colleges.
Dr. Sonia Christian is chancellor of the California Community Colleges. She's tasked with figuring out how to attract more students.
Online classes, hybrid classes, short-term classes. Our community colleges went through this incredible redesign in doing flexible scheduling to meet the student needs.
Schools are facing competition. Traditionally low-paying jobs that don't require a degree are now offering higher wages, and more prospective students are choosing trade schools instead.
The decline in enrollment has pushed the community college system to reimagine the way they connect with students.
Francisco Rodriguez is chancellor of the Los Angeles Community College District, which offers assistance programs.
We want to make sure that they have the supports that they need, from childcare to transportation to food, to the kinds of textbook support that they need to be successful in class.
Some community colleges also provide instant admission and financial aid. Esparza is getting free tuition through the Promise program and plans to transfer to a four-year college next year.
I think what I did was probably the best decision.
Community colleges are seeing results after the changes. Nationally, enrollment ticked up in the spring. California schools are experiencing double-digit growth this fall.
Many community colleges are also offering high school student dual enrollment so they can earn college credits. Well, that's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Dua. We're looking at some cloudy conditions now beginning to spread their way across the area this morning. You can see CityCam 8 there in the distance, looking a little on the cloudy side, 73 degrees, the current air temperature now in La Crosse, but a little on the humid side. As you can see, our relative humidity values at around 81% now in La Crosse. Meanwhile, if you're in Eau Claire, you're also looking cloudy. Temperatures are at 68 for you, cloudy skies, a relative humidity value at 87%. Satellite and radar picture over the last 12 hours, we were tracking some showers and some thunderstorms starting to develop back towards the west here. But then as they moved east, you can see here they kind of fell apart as they made their way across the Coulee region. So we didn't really see as much rain as anticipated here from last night, associated with this low pressure system and cold front, which is now positioned to our east. And we're on the back side of the system now, so we're looking at some cooler conditions beginning to spread their way across the upper Midwest, including us here locally. And that's going to help bring down our temperatures only into the 70s, as you can see on the planner, throughout the day today, but still under mainly cloudy skies, slight chance of scattered showers and maybe a little bit of drizzle here by the afternoon and also into the early evening. But again, the main story today is of these much cooler temperature readings well into the low to mid 70s, with 74 in La Crosse today and a high of 72 this afternoon if you're in Eau Claire here for us today. So as you can see on Sky Tracker, the clouds only continue to increase throughout the day today. Slight chance of a few showers pinwheeling and rotating their way in behind the low pressure system that moved through, and you can see that we are going to continue to keep the rain chances in the forecast, with some of those showers still making their way in across the area from the north and west and moving their way southeast across the area throughout the day. Some of those showers could even linger as we head into overnight tonight. Otherwise, expect the cloudy weather to continue as we head into early tomorrow morning as well. As we head throughout the rest of the day tomorrow, we're just looking at those mainly cloudy skies and temperatures into the upper 60s to low 70s. For tomorrow night, slight chance of a shower, but for the most part, things continue to remain at least on the partly cloudy side of things. A check on your 8-day forecast showing that highs into the low 70s for tomorrow, but then we pick up our highs into the upper 70s to low 80s for Friday and Saturday. I am watching for a chance of isolated thunderstorms on Sunday, which could even continue into early next week on Monday and Tuesday, with highs into the low to mid 70s for the most part there, and low temperatures mainly into the 50s. Stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending it a break with a look what happened in this day in history for September 6th. We'll be right back.
Busy night on the volleyball court. We'll start the show in the Coulee Conference. Both of these teams had special seasons last year. One of them made it to the state tournament. The other got extremely close. Let's go to Westby. Conference rivals going head-to-head. Norseman hosting West Salem. Real tight matchup tonight. Neck and neck in the first set. Emma Kios gives the home team a 1-point lead. Then on set point, the Norsemen showing off their size at the net. Westby takes the first set, an absolute thriller, 27-25. Panthers punch back in the second. Josie Brudos on set point comes up clutch. Norsemen can't return it. West Salem ties it at 1 set apiece. Panthers start to pull away. Back and forth battle all night, but West Salem gets a big road win over rival Westby, 3-1. Let's go to the MVC. Central at home last night. Riverhawks hosting conference rival Toma. These two squads split the first 2 sets. Central up big in the third. Olivia Wall, nice tip at the net to keep the T-Wolves in it. But Central takes the third, and the Riverhawks rolling in the fourth. Alyssa Brixon going up high for the kill. Central up 3. Then the Riverhawks size coming into play. She's a freshman. Ella Crawford comes up with the big block. And then it's Brixon and Sierra Freed teaming up to send that one back. Riverhawks in control. They keep pouring it on. Edie Weiss skies high for the kill. Central up 11, and check this out. Ruby Gerhardt, an absolute machine. The senior, as pumped as I've ever seen her. Riverhawks roll past Toma in 4 sets. Let's go to the north side. Logan at home last night. Rangers hosting rival Aquinas, and it's the home team starting out red hot. Blue Goals can't make the return here. Logan takes an early 2-point lead. Then later in the set, Ava Detweiler blasting this one home. Rangers still with a 2-point lead, but the Blue Goals, they battle back. Zoe Emineth, nice tip into no man's land, and Emineth was feeling it all night. Again, later in the set, this time going up high for the kill. Blue Goals in the lead, and that's where they'd stay for good. How about this? Amy Hine looking good. She goes up high for the spike. All Blue Goals last night on the road. They get the 3-set sweep over Logan. And the Vikings, they keep on rolling. Holman gets a sweep in Sparta. Raina McCardle leading the way for the Vikings, 23 assists, 10 digs for the senior. Holman is 4-0 so far in MVC play. Vikings have yet to lose a set this season to a conference opponent. Let's go to the pitch. Onalaska and Central squaring off in some MVC soccer. First half, Onalaska awarded a PK, but how about Austin Bruley coming up with a save to keep this one scoreless? It would stay that way until the second half. 41st minute, Finn Emlet makes a man miss, then sends this one to the far post, finds the back of the net. Riverhawks take the lead. Then later, Central on the attack again. Emlet again with the shot, but what a save here by Jacob Havlick. Some quick reflexes to save that one. Onalaska would go down a man. Central takes advantage. Devin Wilkerson, left footer. What a shot from him. Central goes up 2. Then it's Emlet again on the outside. Crosses it into Wilkerson. Too much space. Into the net it goes. Second goal of the night. Central gets the win, 3-0. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
Former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio has received the longest prison sentence of any January 6 defendant to date. In a Washington courtroom yesterday, he apologized for the events that day when thousands stormed the U.S. Capitol in a failed attempt to stop the peaceful transfer of power. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio was slapped with a 22-year prison sentence Tuesday after his conviction on seditious conspiracy and other charges in the federal January 6th investigation. Tarrio was not in Washington that day, but prosecutors argue he was the primary organizer, leading the attack from a hotel in Baltimore. A prior arrest banned him from traveling to D.C.
He was the leader in recruiting and directing the organized violence when the mob attacked the Capitol and tried to stop the transfer of power.
Tarrio's sentence was more lenient than the 33 years prosecutors wanted, but the judge did apply a terrorism enhancement. Lawyers for the 39-year-old insisted their client was a, quote, misguided patriot and asked for a maximum term of 15 years.
While we respect the judge's sentence, we respectfully disagree.
During his hearing yesterday, Tarrio begged the judge to show mercy, saying how sorry he was for the events that occurred January 6th. But the judge highlighted this text message the ex-Proud Boys leader sent after crowds breached the Capitol, writing, quote, proud of my boys and my country. Don't expletive leave.
We will be filing an appeal in due course.
4 other Proud Boys, including 2 top lieutenants of the far-right group, received lesser sentences ranging from 10 to 18 years.
FBI Director Christopher Wray released a statement saying yesterday sentencing, quote, demonstrates that those who attempted to undermine the workings of American democracy will be held criminally accountable. Tarrio is now one of more than 100 defendants to be convicted and sentenced in trials stemming from the January 6th Capitol breach. A state judiciary disciplinary panel has rejected several complaints against Supreme Court Justice Janet Protasiewicz. The complaints allege that she violated the Judicial Code of Ethics for comments made during her campaign. She had said the state's legislative maps were, quote, unfair and rigged. She also spoke in favor of abortion rights throughout her campaign, But Protasiewicz never promised to rule one way or another on redistricting or abortion cases. In the letter dismissing the complaints, the Judicial Commission cited a case that says there's a difference between a candidate stating their personal views on the campaign trail and the candidate promising to rule a certain way. The dismissal is a setback to Republicans who said those comments were grounds for impeachment. Wisconsin Democrats are launching a new initiative today to fight against calls for Justice Janet Protasiewicz to be impeached. According to a press release put out by the Wisconsin Democratic Party, the Defend Justice initiative is expected to attempt to inform Wisconsinites about what they call, quote, renewed attacks on Wisconsin's free and fair elections. The initiative will also set up a new website where voters will be able to find contact information and see where their local legislators stand on the issue at defendjustice.com. The website will go live at 10:30 this morning. A judge has blocked Wisconsin officials from using a federal voter registration form. Last year, a conservative law firm filed a lawsuit to have a judge declare the national mail voter registration application illegal. The suit argued that the Wisconsin Elections Commission never authorized the form's use. WEC attorneys say an election agency that came before the commission approved the form. The judge sided with the conservative law firm. However, Wisconsin residents don't need to use the federal form to register to vote because the state allows for same-day registration. Aptiv has received a grant of more than $244,000 from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. According to a press release, this ARPA-funded grant is meant to help improve home and community-based services that help adults and people with disabilities. Aptiv President and CEO Jenny Felty says that this funding represents hope and potential for the La Crosse community. Aptiv is planning to use the funds to research and integrate advanced technological applications into their business. Minnesota kicked off their new school year with free school meals at participating schools. The governor signed a bill this summer guaranteeing breakfasts and lunches at no cost to students. The program will cost the state $400 million in the first 2 years and grow beyond that over time. Those initial costs will come out of the state's $17 billion surplus. The lack of Minnesota school bus drivers is making some schools cancel some bus routes. Barrett Leone has more on how the shortage could impact the school year, as well as what you can do to help.
It's not a new issue.
I hate to say it, but I think we're becoming experts in this driver shortage.
But a persistent one.
We need everybody all hands on deck because there's so much demand right now.
Nick Martini with North Star Bus Lines and American Student Transportation says his team is still 10% short of its driver force. It's forced the schools they serve in the Northwest Metro to seek help from teachers, parents, and in some cases, shuffle or cancel bus routes.
We're going to keep doubling down on the recruiting efforts and retention efforts.
Over in St. Paul,
we're in a really good position right now. All the routes are with the contractors. They've been practicing throughout the week.
Staffing has rebounded post-pandemic, but not fully. This year, SPPS will welcome 3 schools back on yellow buses, while some high school students will continue to take Metro Transit to class.
We're doing much better. Would we like to have more? Absolutely.
Contractors say higher wages is key to filling positions, but it doesn't fix everything.
We've licensed over 30 new drivers this summer, but that doesn't come without losses to other industries.
A cautious return with a hopeful end.
I think there's light at the end of the tunnel this year where we haven't seen other years, that we may actually get above water this year and have full benches of drivers again.
According to some contractors, retirees or people look for flexible side jobs may be a perfect bus driver candidate. Now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, Dua. Sure is a little bit of a muggy start here once again. Perhaps not as muggy as yesterday, but still a little bit humid because our dew points are into the 60s. with temperature readings into the 60s as well. Some spots even warmer into the low 70s, such as Winona and La Crosse, both at 72 to 73 degrees. We're also watching some clouds here that continue to exit the area here this morning. A few light showers are possible, but I think for the most part conditions are just a little bit dry out there. 74 degrees with some scattered showers possible later today. Otherwise, just a cloudy and cooler day today with the west-northwest winds at around 10 to 20 miles an hour. For tonight, 57 degrees, making it relatively seasonable here tonight with those cloudy skies that will continue to linger and north-northwest winds at 10 to 20. Here's a check now on your mowing forecast. 70 degrees here to start the morning with cloudy skies. Those cloudy skies will continue through at least noon today. 69, slight chance of a shower. Could see some slightly better chances of showers by around 5 o'clock with temperatures at 69 degrees. One final check on your full weather forecast is still to come next in weather. And also coming up after the break is the Buzz Report. The Rolling Stones will be releasing their first new album since 2005. And the new album will also host some former rock stars as special guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, it sure is a bit of a cloudy start here to start this morning off here on this Wednesday. And as you can see right there from CityCam, things are, again, a little cloudy. Temperatures at 73 degrees. Looking at relative humidity values at around 81%. So slightly on the muggy and humid side here for us to work with this morning as well. Meanwhile, if you're in Eau Claire, you're also looking a little bit muggy. Temperatures at around 68 with that relative humidity value of 87%. So maybe not as muggy as what we had yesterday, but still a little humid in some spots. So we were watching some showers and some thunderstorms back towards the west as they move through and into our general direction here earlier in the morning. They did begin to dissipate here a little bit, so they didn't really hold together as previously thought, thanks to this low pressure system and this associated cold front along with it as well. So now we're on the backside of the system. We're looking at some cooler air filtering in behind it, and therefore our temperatures will respond to that, and you'll see that we'll be around the upper 60s by noon today, followed by the low 70s at 4, and then the 60s again by 8 o'clock this evening. Not to mention, too, watching for a chance of some showers underneath some of those thicker clouds here throughout the day. Highs mainly into the 70s here, but Eau Claire could be a little bit of a cooler exception this afternoon with that high of 68. But again, the rest of us mainly into the low 70s. So Sky Tracker will time out the things here. We'll time out the weather here for us. And you can see by 9 a.m. looking at those cloudy skies moving through. A slight chance of a shower possible here throughout the day, especially later into the afternoon around 5 o'clock. We could be watching some scattered showers pinwheeling their way in across the area on the backside of that low pressure system that moved through. So we're still going to be dealing with that system even as we head throughout the day today with those cloudy skies, and again a slight chance of a shower possible overnight tonight, also into early tomorrow morning. But I think we'll see mainly just a cloudy sky to start with temperatures in the 50s and 60s for tomorrow morning, and then by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon still dealing with that northerly wind breeze. Looking at the cloudy skies, slight chance of a shower possible. Partly cloudy conditions, though, will last as we head into tomorrow night. And again, a slight chance of a shower mainly focused to the east by that point. A check on your 8-day forecast showing highs into the low 70s as we head into the day tomorrow. But we are looking at highs warming up into the upper 70s to low 80s for Friday and also through Sunday as well. But for starting Sunday and then continuing to early next week, Monday and Tuesday, I'm watching for a chance of isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms from our next system that moves through. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Otherwise, our low temperatures will start off mainly into the 50s.
In our morning Buzz report, the Rolling Stones are set to release their first studio album since 2005. The legendary rock band teased their new album titled Hackney Diamonds in a British newspaper. The new album will include music the band made with drummer Charlie Watts before his death back in 2021. Another expected track is also going to feature former Beatles star Paul McCartney playing bass. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner have filed for divorce. According to their petition for divorce, their marriage was, quote, irretrievably broken as the reasoning for their divorce. The two started dating back in 2016 and got engaged back in 2017. Jonas is seeking shared custody of their 2 daughters. According to the filing, they currently have a prenuptial agreement.
Are you looking for Reagan? Are you looking for Reagan?
50 years ago, The Exorcist landed on screens. Now a new chapter begins with The Exorcist Believer. The new film is about two girls who disappear in the woods and return days later with no memory of what happened to them, and it unleashes a dark chain of events. Ellen Burstyn reprises her iconic role as Chris McNeil. The Exorcist Believer comes to theaters October 6th.
How have you been?
Oh, for the last 20 years.
25, maybe.
I've been 49 forever and ever and ever.
Wow, lucky you. I feel like I've been in my 50s since my 20s.
That's so true.
You don't have to agree with me.
Meg Ryan and David Duchovny play exes that are snowed in a small airport together in What Happens Later. Ryan also co-wrote and directed the rom-com that will open in theaters November 3rd. I feel like nothing says it's time for the holidays better than a rom-com about being snowed in an airport.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, it fits the vibe. You and I are talking about fall on the morning show every morning. Some of these places are already in winter, holiday season, cheesy rom-coms.
Yeah, it's like, okay, way to skip over Halloween and then Thanksgiving. And then, yeah, let's just get right to Christmas. Let's get under the blankets, let's snuggle, turn the heat on and all that stuff and get ready for some rom-com movies. Yep, exactly. I don't even want to think about that.
There's an order, because usually retail stores will kind of put October stuff out, like Halloween stuff, and then jump straight into Christmas.
Right.
Justice for Thanksgiving.
I already seen stores put out the pumpkins and stuff. We're not even in October yet.
Yes,
you know,
I saw that happen in August.
Yeah. Oh,
Target
August.
had
Really?
it in
Already?
August.
Oh my gosh.
Target had pumpkins mid-August. I walked in and I was like, stop this.
Might as well just put it out in July or June.
Exactly. Well, before we head to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8.
We got one birthday today, and it's Joshua, who is turning 8 years old today. He loves nature, music, and his family.
Happy birthday, Joshua. Well, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photos to our website. It's news8000.com, and look for that Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. In your morning news now, an Iowa man is under arrest after being accused of downloading child pornography in Buffalo County. 23-year-old Caleb Krizikstan faces 4 felony counts of possession of child pornography. The Buffalo County Sheriff's Office says they issued a warrant for him after getting a tip he was downloading the material at his parents' house late last year. Each felony count carries a maximum of 25 years in state prison or a fine of $100,000. Police have found a cause for an accident that closed Chaseburg's post office Saturday. A 67-year-old male suffered a major medical event while driving on State Highway 162. That's according to Vernon County Sheriff Roy Torgerson. The man's car went straight off a 90-degree curve and hit the front of the post office. Despite life-saving attempts, the man was pronounced dead at the scene. Community members boarded up the front of the post office for safety reasons. Wisconsin Democrats are launching a new initiative today to fight against calls for Justice Janet Protasiewicz to be impeached. According to a press release put out by the Wisconsin Democratic Party, the Defend Justice initiative is expected to attempt to inform Wisconsinites about what they call, quote, renewed attacks on Wisconsin's free and fair elections. The initiative will also set up a new website where voters will be able to find contact information and see where their local legislators stand on the issue at defendjustice.com. The website is expected to be up at 10:30 this morning. A judge has blocked Wisconsin officials from using a federal voter registration form. Last year, a conservative law firm filed a lawsuit to have a judge declare the national mail voter registration application illegal in the state. The suit argued that the Wisconsin Elections Commission never authorized the form's use. WEC attorneys say an election agency that came before the commission approved the form. The judge sided with the conservative law firm. However, Wisconsin residents don't need to use the federal form to register to vote because the state allows for same-day registration. A spot on the La Crosse County Board has opened up. Grant Matthew has decided to resign as District 5 Supervisor. He has represented the district covering the UWL campus since 2020. Matthew graduated from UWL in the spring and is pursuing a master's degree. The county board is now taking applicants to fill the vacancy. Applicants have to be at least 18 and currently live or plan to live in the 5th district. Letters of interest are due by 4:30 p.m. September 15th. We'll have more information on the application process on our website and app. The Assistant Fire Chief of Onalaska is stepping down. Les Noren has served in the Onalaska Fire Department since 2021. He is now the new fire chief at the City of West Bend Fire District. It's a suburban community north of Milwaukee. This comes as Onalaska recently announced Pete Fletty would succeed Troy Goody as Onalaska's new fire chief. Single-day passes are now on sale for the Sandbar Storytelling Festival. The festival takes place at St. Mary's University and the Minnesota Marine Art Museum in Winona. The 3-day event is family-friendly and features storytellers like Bill Lepp and Kevin Kling. The festival begins the evening of October 12 and ends on the 14th. Single-day passes for Friday are $50. Saturday passes cost $75. You can also buy a 2-day pass for $100. For more information about the Sandbar Storytelling Festival, visit their website. We'll post a link on our website, news8000.com. Winona Area Public Schools start back up today, and the district's leadership will have an injection of local pride. Brad Brzezinski is the new superintendent, a man who's worn plenty of hats there before. Student, teacher, principal, even athletic director. But after stints in Oregon and St. Charles, Minnesota, he's back home. He told the district he wants to improve the culture and ties to the community. 66% of voters rejected a facilities referendum in the spring, and Brzezinski says the district can learn to build community relationships that might change those no's to yeses on future ballots. Brzezinski's predecessor told the La Crosse Tribune she hopes the district continues to focus on equity and inclusion.
And as you head out the door this morning, temperatures are into the upper 60s to low 70s under those mainly cloudy skies, and it looks like the cloudy weather will continue throughout the day today. A slight chance of a couple of showers are possible, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, skies remain cloudy, those temperatures in the 60s and low 70s, and along with a northwest breeze here at 10 to 20 miles an hour behind that cold front that moved through last night. Mostly cloudy conditions linger into tomorrow, highs around 73. Sunnier, though, for Friday, high of 80, partly cloudy on Saturday. Looking at a chance of showers and storms again for Sunday. That could continue into early next week on Tuesday.
Lows in the 50s.
Yeah, lows in the 50s. Definitely feeling a lot more like September this time.
Yes.
Along with those highs in the 70s here, too.
Definitely time to pull out the sweaters. It's sweater weather.
Not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me. I can't. Not yet. Not cold enough yet.
Not cold enough. What's your threshold?
I would say probably the 40s?
40s?
Yeah.
I'm in my winter jacket at that point.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
I get cold
I used
really
to be that
easily.
way, but I think I've gotten used to the cold weather up here. Even though folks told me, like, I was like, yeah.
Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now this morning. We'll see you back here later today.